The old book that whispers secrets. What if there was a book that didn't just hold words but spoke them? What if, in the dead of night, when silence wrapped around you, those words weren't silent at all, but whispered directly into your ear, revealing truths you were never meant to know? Imagine a book so old its pages crumble at your touch, and yet, within that fragile paper, something alive stirs, waiting to be heard. That is the legend of the Whispering Book. They say the book has no name, no author, no publisher, just leather, cracked and warped with centuries of decay, binding together yellowed pages that bleed with ink faded to the color of dried blood. The cover is blank, but those who claim to have seen it say a faint pattern is burned into the leather, like veins under skin. It feels warm to the touch, as though it still remembers the hands of those who carried it long before you were born. Its origins are unknown. Some say it surfaced first in Europe, passed hand to hand among occultists in the 15th century. Others whisper it is far older, dragged out of the ruins of some forgotten civilization, written in a language that shifts each time you glance at it. The myth says the words rearrange themselves until you can read them, until you can understand. But it's not the writing that makes it dangerous. It's the voice. According to the legend, the book does not wait for you to read it. It reads you. Those who have opened its pages describe hearing faint murmurs at first, a soft hiss curling around the edges of thought. If you lean closer, if you dare to listen, those murmurs shape themselves into words, words that cut deeper than ink, words that tell you things you cannot unhear. The book doesn't just recount history, it reveals secrets you wish had stayed buried. One of the earliest recorded accounts of the book dates back to the year 1621, in a small village in Bavaria. A traveling scholar named Elias Grunwald purchased what he believed to be an ancient manuscript at a market. His journal, what little survives of it, describes the strange whispers he began to hear whenever he read by candlelight. They told him of a plague, weeks before it arrived. They told him of a fire, days before the town's granary burned to the ground. And then they told him something else. Something his journal does not explain? His entries end abruptly. His neighbors later claimed they saw him walking toward the woods at dusk, the book pressed against his chest. He never returned. Only the book was found, propped open on a stump, its pages fluttering though there was no wind. Another tale comes from the late 1800s, when the book allegedly surfaced in London. A historian named Margaret Ainsworth supposedly uncovered it in a private collection. Witnesses described her obsession with it, how she stopped eating, how she scrawled frantic notes long into the night. "It knows," she reportedly told her housekeeper. "It tells me everything." Weeks later, she was discovered in her study. Every mirror in the house had been shattered. Her notes, scattered across the floor, contained predictions, murders, scandals, political upheavals. That all came true in the weeks and months following her death. But none explained the last line she wrote before she died. "It promised me the truth, but truth has teeth." You might think stories like these would fade with time, dismissed as folklore, but the Whispering Book has a way of finding new ears. In 2015, a thread appeared on Reddit under our Nosleep, written by someone claiming to have stumbled across an unnamed manuscript in the basement of an estate sale. The user described how, at first, the book seemed blank, its pages covered only in smudges. But when he flipped through in the quiet of his apartment, he began to hear faint whispers. At first he thought it was Tinates, or maybe neighbors through the walls. But then the whispers formed words, calling him by name. The account ended abruptly after the user described one particular message. Your door will open tonight. Hours later, commenters noticed the poster never responded again. Their account was deleted, their profile wiped clean. Some brushed it off as an elaborate creepy, but others claimed to have traced the username back to a real person in Chicago. A man who, according to police reports, went missing the very night the post was made. TikTok, too, has not been immune. Short, grainy videos have surfaced of people showing what they claim is the Whispering Book. Clips always follow the same unsettling pattern. Someone flips through pages while faint whispers can be heard, low and unintelligible at first. In some videos, the sound distorts into something almost inhuman, a voice layered on itself a dozen times over. The accounts are always deleted. The videos vanish within hours, but some re-uploads still float around, buried deep in corners of the internet, carrying with them a chilling warning. Do not play the audio too loud. It speaks to you if you let it. And that's the problem with the Whispering Book. It doesn't just tell stories. It tells truths. And the truth is rarely gentle. Imagine knowing your friend's deepest betrayal before it happens. Imagine hearing the exact moment your loved one will die, whispered into your ear with the certainty of a guillotine's blade. Imagine learning the secrets of governments, conspiracies, tragedies waiting to unfold, with no power to change them. The book doesn't care if you want to know. It only whispers, and those whispers cling to you. They rot your thoughts, until silence itself becomes suspicious, until every shadow feels like a secret waiting to pounce. It's said that those who hear the book's voice can't escape it. Even if you burn it, even if you bury it, the whispers remain. They follow you, curling out of the dark corners of your room, rising from the static of your phone, hiding in the rush of your own breath. Conspiracy theorists claim powerful organizations, governments, secret societies, even corporations have sought to harness the book to control the flow of forbidden knowledge. Some say the book is kept locked away in a vault, studied in secret. Others argue it cannot be contained. That's even, it's out there, waiting, choosing its next reader. But the real question isn't where the book is. The real question is this: would you listen? Those who have sought the book always seem to pay a price. Sometimes it's their life. Sometimes it's their sanity. Always, it is something they can never get back. Perhaps the book does not reveal truth for our benefit. Perhaps it feeds on it. Perhaps each secret it whispers into your ear costs you a piece of yourself, until you are nothing but another story in its endless pages. And maybe that's the real horror, that the book isn't just a record of secrets, it creates them. It tells you things no one else knows, things that become real because you heard them, as if the act of listening makes the whisper true. So, if you ever come across a dusty old volume in an attic, or a nameless book at an estate sale, look closer. Do you see faint veins burned into the leather? Do the words shift when you blink? And most importantly, do you hear it breathing? Because if you do, it's already too late. The Whispering Book does not wait for you to read. It waits to read you. And once you've heard its secrets, silence will never sound the same again.